So another thing we can do, which hopefully we don't want to do that often, is drop a database. Now this is something you actually want to be quite careful with once you have databases that have real data. We don't at the moment. Ours are completely empty, so we can play around with it. But this will remove a database entirely and all of its contents. So drop database, and then once again, you replace that with the name of a database that exists, like SoapStore. So let's try it. I'll do it in the command line first. Let's delete slime store. So drop database, and then I have to spell it correctly and capitalize it like that. It says okay. Let's do a select, or rather show databases. It's no longer here. If I go back to my workbench, slime store is right here. Because this is sort of out of sync, I have to refresh, and now we see it's gone. If I head over to another tool, dbgate, which I think I'm going to lean more on because you can actually read the text here compared to this. MySQL gives me no way of increasing this font size. It's kind of insane. Anyway, it's the same concept, right? I've got slime store, but if I refresh, it's gone. Okay, so I can also drop a database from within one of these. All I need to do, let's say I wanted to drop this database here, is write a script. So I'm going to click the plus sign and just run drop database pet_shop, put my semicolon in there, and then I'm going to click execute. And it finished. I'll refresh. Pet shop is gone. I refresh over here. Pet shop is gone. And if I do another show databases, pet shop once again is gone. All right, so that's how we can drop a database. Of course, you want to be careful with that. The next thing we need to do is use a database. We can create empty ones. We can delete databases, but we need to use them. And use is the actual command that we're going to use. It's uppercase use, although it doesn't have to be uppercase, but it's another one of those SQL keywords. And then a name of a database that currently exists. And this tells MySQL we want to think of it as like double clicking on this database, selecting it as what we want to be working inside of. So we can have all these different databases, but when it comes time to insert information or find information or delete information or create new tables, we have to tell MySQL where we are. So the way that we do that is use. So let's do use chicken_coop, and it tells us database changed. You selected you're working in a new database. Now, how do we know that other than seeing database changed? We have this other command, select database with parentheses. I don't use this very often, but when we're starting out, it's a great way to know that we're doing things correctly. I should see chicken coop, and I do. It says this is your current database, chicken coop. So if I were to make a new database, create database, how about T shop? I don't know why everything has to be a shop, but sure, T shop. And I run select database. I'm not using that new database. I made it, but I'm not actually working inside of it. I have to then run use tshop. And then it will tell me the database changed, but if I want to know for sure what it changed to, I select database with parentheses tshop. Now, when we're over here in Workbench or in dbgate, any of these graphical interfaces, I can write use. I can say use, let's refresh. I should see tshop. Yeah, I can say use tshop and execute this script if I wanted to. And that's fine. And then if I wanted to select database to prove that it's working, let's run the script again. It says your database is tshop. Okay, so that's fine. But there's actually an easier way to use a database. It's as simple as double clicking. So if I double click on chicken coop and I get rid of that use and I just select the database, it says you're working with chicken coop. So if I double click on tshop, I run the same thing. Now it says tshop. Same thing over in this dbgate. If I select chicken coop, or let's do tshop, and then I click the plus sign, I have a new script, and you'll see up here it says tshop. So this is using tshop. If I do select database, and I run this, we see tshop, right? If I instead went over to chicken coop, now this is still going to say tshop up there, but if I do chicken coop plus sign, and I do the same thing, select database. We'll be working in one database for a lot of the course, so it's not a big deal to change. We don't need to change. But if I run this, execute, it says chicken coop. All right, so that's how we can use a database. It's like clicking into it, selecting it, telling MySQL, this is the one database I want to be interacting with right now. Of course, we're not really interacting with them, but we are selecting them. We're using them. Next up, we're going to learn all about putting stuff in a database.